Welcome everybody, I'm Alexander Linz, head of content of WatchAdvisor.com, and I'm actually here in Barcelona at the occasion that Garmin is presenting 5 new tool watches with me, Brad Trenkel.
Hey.
You are Vice President and responsible for all developments of outdoor tools, that's correct?
Yeah, and actually the Mark collection, which has 5 watches, the Aviator watch, the Marine watch, the fitness watch, an outdoor watch, and the driver watch, represent all 5 aspects of our company, but they all have kind of rolled up in the development of our outdoor division.
And with those Mark watches, as you just said, Garmin is entering a new segment of type of watches, because I think most of you know Garmin watches for sport activities, running, whatever it is, and those watches were they were designed to be sport watches, but now you're entering, I would say, kind of a luxury segment, and really pushing materials, designs in another dimension of what we have seen before from Garmin.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really exciting for us, because one of the things that we've focused on for so long is we've really been a performance company. We've really focused on function of the product. With Phoenix, we started getting into a little bit more of the form with new materials like you talked about, but now we've almost taken that design element to a new level where we're starting to be taking it beyond the watch and almost entering into the timepiece area.
You're targeting, let's say, I would call it an audience that is very focused on what it is doing. So with the functions you're offering in the watches, you're really looking for people who are very into that, what the watch does.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the heritage of our company, right? We've been making products that have changed the way people fly, changed the way people spend their time on the oceans. We've been doing this for 30 years. And so we have a lot of passionate customers that, they really rely on Garmin electronics. And so it was a natural fit for us to have watches that helped them further enable the pursuit of their passions.
Yeah, but for instance, if I just pick out one little detail of the Marine,
the Captain watch?
The Captain watch, the one who is supposed to be on boats, the Marine watch or Captain watch. It is even, you can even steer your boat with it when you link to your Garmin equipment on the boat. You even can relax, sit and have a nice glass of whatever it could be. And you can say, okay, let's make a little bit more, you push buttons and it works.
Yeah, it's amazing because, when you think about this, the time that we've spent developing the markets in aviation, where we now, are pretty much the entire cockpit of an airplane, the amount of electronics that we have on several boats, and so that, we're kind of at the helm of the boat. We have these entire ecosystems of Garmin devices that we've built up over 30 years, and so it's a very natural thing for us to integrate the watch into these electronics ecosystems.
Yeah, but I don't think that any other device worn on the wrist looking so good has ever done this before.
Never. And quite honestly, there are probably very few, if any, other companies that can execute this type of technology integration. And for us, we could do the technology integration, but we've spent the last 3 to 5 years really focusing on how to do that in a designed way that takes the design aesthetic to a level that is beyond what people would expect from a consumer electronics company.
Can we just quickly run through the 5 new watches, and you tell me what are the main features and the main aspects of the watch, or the things you like most? Or
Maybe I definitely can tell you what I like about it.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to see.
Did you want to pick one? Which activity did you do yesterday?
I was race car driving. So.
Okay. So from a price point standpoint, that's our very high end watch on this. It's what's really cool about that watch is there's this incredible strap. So the entire watch is titanium, the housing is titanium, the watch strap is titanium, but it actually is a hybrid band that has DLC coated titanium on the outside, but it's got this incredible rubber links on the inside. So we're able to carve out additional metal and make the watch even lighter. It's cool because between the links you can see the red rubber come through it. It's a really cool looking watch.
And the main function is that you have 260 racetracks already memorized on the watch, and you sit in your car, you go to a racetrack, and then you set your virtual departure line, or it is already preset. You just start. You make your
laps, and using GPS technology, we're able to keep track of when you're crossing that lap line every time, and it gives you that analytical information when you're done to analyze how your race went.
Yeah, and you even connect the watch to by Bluetooth to your car if you want, and if the car is able to do that.
Yeah.
And then a magic voice would announce.
Magic voice coming through to give you the audio on how well you're performing with each individual lap, so you can keep 2 hands on the wheel at all times.
Oh, very cool, very cool. So next watch, let's take the Captains. What would be your?
I think for us, one of the things that we're really proud of with this watch is the Jacquard weave strap that we have. If you look at our watches, we have this quick release mechanism that we had with Phoenix before. We brought that into the Mark series, and a quick release mechanism is actually really challenging to do with a fabric strap. And so we worked with a company in France, spent several years developing this incredible weave. But we're able to integrate in the metal mechanism to do this all in a strap that we've had a really good response from the public.
And in terms of features, what would be your really cool feature of the watch?
I think you kind of touched on it yesterday when you're out in the water. There's that
Steering,
even if you're not the true captain of the boat, but you maybe have a smaller vessel. Not all of us can afford I think you were on a 1.4 million euro boat yesterday.
No, I haven't been on the boat.
You haven't been on the boat? Okay.
No.
Yeah, some of the sailing folks yesterday were able to go out on a very nice boat, with the America's Cup style. But what you're able to actually do is, the electronics on the boat, you can control your autopilot from your wrist, and so you don't have to go back to the helm to make adjustments. If you're just kind of cruising and you need to adjust your course just slightly, you can do that from the convenience of anywhere on the boat.
Yeah. Talking about the Aviator's watch, any cool feature in there you want to mention?
Yeah, we've made aviation watches in the past, and one of the features that we've brought forward that really is nice from a true safety of life perspective is that we have every airport and airfield in the world on this watch preloaded, and if you happen to find yourself in a stress situation, it's a one-button touch to the nearest airport, and it'll tell you, give you that arrow that you need to follow so that you can safely land your aircraft.
These databases are updated automatically, or what do you have to do to be always?
One of the great things about being in the aviation industry for the last 30 years is that, in-house we have our own cartography group that keeps all of our aviation databases up to date for our.
So you're really on the safe side.
Yeah, everything that's in there. Another really nice subtle thing about this watch that a lot of people enjoy is that, a lot of pilots, maybe they own a plane, even if it's a small plane, and their plane has a tail number,
okay.
Right? And that's really a kind of being able to put their tail number on their watch face.
Okay.
It really personalizes the watch, and it connects their watch to their plane, to their life.
That's cool. It's cool.
It's just a wonderful touch.
November or something or whatever. The tail number will be very nice, very nice. Talking about the outdoor watch,
the Expedition
watch, any cool feature or something you like probably in there?
Well, and you'll probably notice those.
Yeah, you're wearing it.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm wearing, and I have an affinity to it. Being vice president of the outdoor segment, I might catch a little flack at work if I were to wear one of the other ones. But really, what I like about this watch is, there's a nice leather strap here, and it's an Italian Mikella leather. But one of the things that I like is there's some really cool technology that we've been bringing into our watches, where you can actually monitor the oxygen levels in your blood. And so if you're an alpinist, you can actually see if you're ascending too fast or too slow, if you've had a chance to let your body acclimate as you've maybe gone from base camp to Camp 1, things like that. And so we've had that in a few watches in the past, but this is the one that really takes it to a level that has a real purpose.
About battery consumption of the watch when you're on expedition, is it necessary to take an extra generator with you to charge your Garmin watch? Or
well, our goal is always to try to outlast people on their adventures.
But the watch is pretty small. The battery, I think, is even smaller.
It is. With this watch, what we've been able to do is create an expedition mode. So some people may want to capture that one track point every second, and for typically without even a great battery efficiency can get you in our watches, in that we try to go 16 to 24 hours in a mode like that. But we've created an expedition mode on this where maybe you're not really worrying about capturing every single second of your track, but you're going on a multi-week adventure. And we actually have an expedition mode that will get you closer to a full month on the trail, being able to capture a track point an hour. So
but
when
still
you're done,
be able
you can see that long trek through the Alps maybe.
But still be able to look on the
watch
see the time and get some basic information
Yep,
about altitude. This will be still good.
Yeah, and I think people who are familiar with Garmin watches know that we use displays that reflect the sun rather than displays that have to be backlit.
Okay.
And things like that really allow us, because we're purpose built for being in the outdoors.
Yeah.
And that allows us to use nature to actually to the benefit of our customers, and that nature becomes the battery that pushes light through our display.
I see. The last one is the Athlete.
Yes.
So that's a watch that's very light, as I've been reading through the technical manuals you have been giving us. It's a very light watch and supposed to be in a wrist of people that are athletes or do a lot of sports.
Or love to train and want to have that be, the ethos of themselves that they want to show to the world. And that's really it's built on the heritage of our Forerunner product line, and it's really those multi-sport athletes, the people that run, that cycle, that swim a lot. Or maybe they just do one or two of those activities. And really the cool thing about this watch is all of the other tool watches that we've been working on have kind of an existing heritage somewhere, that there's companies that have been doing these for hundreds of years. In the sport world, we're a little bit different, right? That's the idea of biometrics on watches is a relatively new thing in the watch industry. And so we were able to actually create this bezel that has entirely new markings that we've never seen before in the industry, where we're actually able to, on the bezel, mark your VO2 max and your recovery time. So at a moment's glance, you can always see what is your fitness level and kind of that, how long should I wait?
Maybe you are not so much interested in knowing how much time you need to recover, because that will tell you things you probably don't want to know.
Right. But depending upon how well you've been training, right? Sometimes it forces you, or it gives you an excuse to take the day off.
But to summarize what we have been talking about, so Garmin is entering a new segment. Garmin is trying to head a step forward in terms of delivering watches in exclusive materials, getting away from that, let's say, cheaper look of sports watches that were proper designed, but they were not as nice looking on a wrist. And you're trying to bring in customers that would wear the watch in private, in terms when they are doing their activities, flying, whatever they do, and also as a daily watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really where, as we've seen the re-emergence of the watch industry, as smartwatches have kind of come on board and sport watches have started to become a bigger part of what people do. One of the things we're hearing from our customers is that they like our products, they like what's happening in the smartwatch world, because it's giving them information that they didn't have before, but they felt like they were losing their ability to show their personality through their watch. And we really think that that's where Mark helps to start separate, is that you can put that personality back into, and you can make a testament to your lifestyle on your wrist. But yet it's still just as functional as every other watch that's out there today that we're seeing, whether you're on the kind of more on the tool watch side or whether you're more on the smartwatch side.
And Mark, the name? What does Mark stand for? Mark and a Q in the end. What does that stand?
Garmin does have a little bit of a history of tweaking the spelling on things, so that might be part of it. But Mark really is a long-standing word in the world of navigation. You mark where you're at, and that's one of the several reasons that we chose Mark.
But you are aware that the name will be spelled correctly around the world.
We've had history in the past with things like Nuvi. People eventually figured out how to spell Nuvi, and I'm positive that they'll learn how to spell Mark.
Okay. Just in brief, where is that journey going to continue? You are going to launch more product in the Mark line, targeting more people with more different sport activities, or is it with these 5 watches? Is that the line for the moment?
No, I think if you look at Garmin, the first 5 that we've come out with are a very natural fit, because Garmin is in the aviation industry, we're in the marine industry, the outdoor industry, the fitness industry, and the automotive industry. But we also have, even within those areas, we have customers that have kind of specific pursuits and passions. And I think what we'll look for in the future is how do we grow that, and how do we create additional watches? What are the new materials that are coming out that allow us to kind of further add new design elements, because design is really what separates Mark from a lot of our other watches.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed having you.
So it's up to you now to discover these watches. I think once you have them on the wrist and you will see them in life, you will probably like them because they make a big difference. I was very much surprised myself yesterday when I discovered them, because they're really different. It's a watch now, a really watch. You have the feeling of wearing a watch.
I'm glad you found that to be true.
No, it's no longer that kind of fitness thing you have on your wrist.
Mm-hmm.
It's a watch.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Vice President Outdoor Developments with me. Thanks guys for watching. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to like our videos, of course. And if you have any questions, please use the comment section just here underneath and ask me, and I will be more than happy to answer you. Bye-bye from Barcelona, and thank you once again for joining me.
Thank you.